Pileated woodpecker.
Pileated woodpecker.
Hang on a second. Pileated? That's the way it's supposed to be pronounced? I've heard people pronounce it as pileated too, though, so what's the right one? It turns out that language is pretty slippery, especially when you throw in accents, regional dialect, as well as where the word originated. Pileated, as I say it, seems to be a regional thing. Some people simply refer to them as pileated, while others pronounce it pileated. Pileated being the more common use of the word, but Webster says either is correct.
Pileated. Pileated.
As long as you aren't calling them something totally incorrect like I did for years, pileated, you're good. The important thing to remember is that some people will have a different way of saying the same word and it's no big deal. I promise that the birds won't get upset with you. Regardless of which way you prefer to pronounce pileated or pileated, it will not make it any easier or harder for you to get good photos or videos. With that out of the way, and before I get to more facts about these woodpeckers, a big thanks to the various people who sent in videos and photos. There will be credits to everyone at the end of the video, and as well as links to their social media or websites down in the description. On to learn more interesting things about these prehistoric looking woodpeckers that I'm going to be calling pileated. Enjoy! The pileated woodpecker is very widespread, living throughout much of Canada from the east to west coast, as well as much of the eastern states, and can be found in many northwestern forests too. They are resident birds, meaning that they don't migrate. However, sometimes individuals may wander far from breeding areas. In fact, a banding operation in Maryland had one male that was at least 12 years and 11 months old when he was recaptured and re-released, making it the oldest recorded pileated. The population of these woodpeckers is estimated at close to 2 million. This colossal crow-sized woodpecker measures roughly 16 to 20 inches in length and weighs 9 to 12 ounces. They are the largest woodpecker in North America, well, except for the ivory-billed woodpecker, which it seems is almost certainly and very sadly extinct. Pileated woodpeckers have a long neck which they use to pull far back from the tree before making a powerful strike with their heavy, lengthy, chisel-like bill that is about the length of their head. Their incredible size and powerful bills make a solid thunk sound as they hit the tree. Their name, pileated or pileated, derives from the Latin pileatus, meaning capped, referring to that bright red cap both sexes have. The male and female are very similar looking, black all over except for some white stripes in their plumage. There are a couple of noticeable differences though. Males have a red cheek strip, and the red feathering on the crest extends down to the base of his bill, unlike the female where it stops about halfway. Many people wonder why most woodpeckers have this black and white in their plumage. The reason for this, as it has been suggested, seems to be due to something known as disruptive coloration. For the most part, woodpeckers are found in forests and woodlands. Those habitats have filtered light coming down through the canopy. The contrasting black and white pattern hides them from predators, by helping to break up and conceal the shape and outline of a woodpecker as it climbs the side of a tree. I don't know how true this is for the pileated, but it is a fairly accepted concept for woodpeckers in general. It's sweet to learn that pileated woodpeckers mate for life. They will only mate with another bird if their partner dies. The surviving member will not abandon the territory though, and instead attracts a new unmated bird from a nearby area. To attract a mate, they will drum and call. In courtship, they do a cute little dance, which consists of one bird bowing and stepping sideways in a circle around another bird. They'll show off their white wing patch, raise crest, and swing head back and forth. Mated pairs stay together all year long. During fall and winter, though, the pair will roost in different locations overnight. Interestingly, males will sometimes use the previous nest site as their nighttime roost. The territory is defended year-round, but they may allow floaters to pass through. Male pileatids choose the nest site and begin the digging, but both sexes excavate the hole together, although apparently the male does most of the work. Nesting cavities are typically made in a dead tree or the branch of a live tree roughly 15 to 70 feet off the ground. Sometimes utility poles are used too. Each year a new nest hole is made. These gigantic woodpeckers may also take an interest in nest boxes specifically designed for their large size, but they may use a box that is located in forested areas which lack dead or dying trees. For natural nesting sites, the trees they tend to use to construct a nest in are mature or old stand of coniferous or deciduous trees, but they may also be in the dead trees in younger forests or even in cities. To find a cavity or a presence of pileated woodpeckers, look for large wood chips at or near the base of a tree. The male and female take turns in incubation duties, but males are the ones who incubate the eggs at night and part of the day too. Around 2 weeks later, nestlings hatch. Both parents feed them by regurgitation. Almost a month later, the nestlings leave the nest, but stay with their parents for as long as 2 or 3 months, learning to forage and other woodpecker shenanigans. Pileated woodpecker pairs only have one brood a year, but second attempts may happen if a predator attacks the first brood. Since the pair will not nest in the same tree the next season, that is good news for other cavity nesters, like bluebirds, wood ducks, owls, flying squirrels, and martins. Due to this, pileated woodpeckers play an important role within their ecosystems by excavating nesting and roosting cavities. So if you have dead or dying trees or snags on your property, consider leaving them alone, as they may attract pileated woodpeckers as well as other woodpeckers and nuthatches to forage, roost, or even nest in them. The diet of these woodpeckers include carpenter ants and other species too. In fact, some studies showed that this made up 40% of their diet, and some individuals even had up to 97%. Wood-boring beetle larvae, termites, and other insects such as flies, spruce budworm, caterpillars, cockroaches, and grasshoppers are consumed too. And they also eat a small amount of wild fruits and nuts, including sumac, holly, dogwood, cherries, and acorns. Pileated woodpeckers make a loud thunking noise as they hammer their bill onto trees. They do this to test the wood for soft sections that they can drill into or tear apart as they try reaching the tasty morsels inside. Sometimes they even gouge deep holes in rotten areas to get at ant nests, and will even tear apart stumps and big sections of fallen logs. Another sound they make is much louder and rapid. This is known as drumming. In this case, they are either trying to locate a mate or defend their territory. Although these awesome birds can sometimes have a wary and shy disposition, it is quite possible to attract them to your yard just by providing suet and seeds. Pileated woodpeckers can be destructive to homes, and most people want to resolve the issue humanely. These guys are a protected species, so going about dealing with them in a respectful manner is wise. There are ways to deter them from your house, but first you need to figure out why your house is a target. One reason could be that they are feeding on insects living in the siding. It is easy to tell if insects are what they are looking for because the holes will be small and irregular. If this is the case, you may have to call an exterminator to get rid of the underlying insect problem. The second reason could be that they are trying to nest or roost. If the woodpeckers are creating a nest cavity, the hole will be round and large. Nesting holes are usually built in the beginning of the breeding season between late April and May. If you need to evict woodpeckers from your home, try to do so either before or after the nesting season. Some homeowners have reported having success deterring woodpeckers with windsocks, pinwheels, helium balloons, strips of aluminum foil, or reflective tape. It may take a little trial and error to figure out how to deter them. And for anyone interested to read more about what they can do, I will leave a link to an article from Cornell Lab, which is where I found some of the information I just shared, down in the description. I can imagine how annoying it is having to deal with a bad behaving woodpecker, but just try to remember that they are wild birds trying to live and survive like all of us. Please make an effort to take a harmless approach. After all, they are pretty awesome creatures, and look how funny they are. The laughs alone that they can provide is reason to be kind. So with all of that said, I'm curious which fact about these silly birds that I shared did you enjoy the most? Comment below and let me know, and as always, thanks a bunch for watching. A big thank you to all who sent in videos and pictures. Take care, happy birding.